You know, I was thinking about something, warriors. I was thinking back. I don't know how old I was, but I will say I think I was younger than 10 years old. And I remember somebody talking with my parents. And I remember hearing them say, someday we will have telephones where people can see us. And I remember thinking, wow, that's horrible. What if you're in your pajamas? Or what if you're, and I just remember thinking, wow, I think I was probably around 9 or 10. So let's fast forward. I don't think we need to discuss where we are today, but what we do need to discuss, and that I will constantly talk about, is our kids. Our children are the currency, our children are the product. They are being attacked on every level. And you know what I mean by that. I mean, big tech. Our government is certainly not doing enough to protect our children. We've got medical, educational, Hollywood, society, media. And that's why you tune into the Warriors, because we're giving you the information. I could sit here all day and make videos. I could sit on Twitter all day and tweet with the information coming into me, but I have to be boots on the ground. We do, and get the work done in the field with real people, and also vetting our information to make sure everything is correct. So I want to just mention a couple of things. So much noise, so much distraction on this Sunday evening. I'm recording it Sunday evening. I want you, it's the holiday season. Whether you celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, whatever your holiday is, stay in your lane, take a step back, focus on you, focus on your family, focus on your friends and your community. I was reading an interesting article that really, I don't know if it's interesting, that's the wrong word actually, that again, unless I wrote it, I say about 98, 99% of things are purely propaganda that are forced upon us. So I'm reading this article online that says, oh, the holiday season, it's okay. We've learned from the pandemic that we can spend all our time alone. We've learned that, we're fine if we don't want to see certain family members during the holiday season. Don't force yourself. You can stay home and have a roast by yourself. You can sit on the couch with your dog. You can do everything by yourself. Why put yourself through all of the hassle of the holidays? Why go to the expense? Warriors, you can find this article, go on my Twitter, Facebook, at Lynn's Warriors. I made it very easy for everybody, at Lynn's Warriors. Everything is named Lynn's Warriors. And I was thinking, isolation. We have the studies, numerous studies that tell us no matter how tough it is for some people, you must keep an eye. Even when people seem okay, family members, friends, they seem okay. You've got to check in on them. We are living in a new world, a new environment these days. And especially during the holiday season, isolation, depression. People shouldn't be alone. I don't care if people get out of the house for 2 hours and they're around other people. I don't care if people are eating, they're fighting, kids are running around, everything's messy. Stimulation, being face to face with other people, having conversation, having discussions, that is what is needed. That is what these phones have done. They have isolated us. And also the children. And remember, it's not their fault. It's not your fault. There's no judgment here. Kids 30 and under have been born into this world of captivity. It is a digital environment. We have to now start swinging this pendulum back each and every day. And if it's 5 minutes a day where you all put your phones down, you don't go on the computer, we have to be role models, adults, because whether we realize it or not, the kids and grandkids are watching us and they replicate what we're doing. So if we're shooing them away and we're busy laughing or TikToking, they notice and they do the same thing. So it's interesting because I talk about it a lot. We have to create family digital partnerships, and a great way to do this. And right now we're in the holiday season. So let's really remember what that means, whatever that means for you and your families and your friends. I don't care if you're a parent, a grandparent, a caregiver. Let us go back. Let us think. What did we all do? We sat around at the family table. Now, families were always busy, kids going to school, parents going to work. What did you do, though? You came to the family dinner table. Start recreating. Again, if you do it once a week, get back to that table, because that gives you the opportunity to sit down together. And even if it's 20 minutes, you are together, and that's where you can have the discussion. Little Johnny, tell me about your school day. Susie, tell me about, what are you doing online? Who are you talking to? What apps? Tell me what's going on. Let's look at it together. Teach me some things. That's a great way to get the kids involved, because our studies and our work, our focus groups on the ground tell us that the kids actually do want us to be involved. And we have many parents saying, oh no, that's my child's privacy. I would never invade their digital space, their phone or their laptop. Oh, okay. But remember, you probably bought those devices and pay for the internet. And you're not going to invade them. You're not going to sit with your child, your teen, and talk about a digital family partnership. You're not going to get them involved to tell you, you make it this, I don't want to say game, because we have teens, older kids, but any exciting new apps came out, games, conversation, because because you're here following the warriors, that if you don't talk to your kids, the predators are certainly there waiting and waiting and waiting. So let's use this holiday season. It's the beginning of December. Let's make a commitment to ourselves, to our kids, to our families, our communities. We want to also remember those who don't have loved ones, those who may live alone. We want to try to include everybody, because everybody needs this pat on the shoulder, bringing in, a cup of tea, a meal, a couple of laughs. I don't care. Watch something together. Just a side note that I posted also today. It was usually tradition, right? When I was a kid, and certainly over the last couple of decades, that you would have Charlie Brown Christmas. And starting a couple of years ago, and it was free, and it was on, I don't know, maybe CBS, NBC, or one of the channels. They started saying, I think it was about 2 years ago, well, now we will not be showing a Charlie Brown Christmas, but you could go to Apple Plus and pay for it. Now, right then and there. Now, a lot of people do have Apple Plus, so it's not a big deal. What about all the vulnerable kids and families who don't have Apple Plus, who can't get the joy out of a cartoon at Christmas time? Chuck and Snoopy and the gang. So I posted today, Apple Plus will be December 22nd through 25th. I put the steps there for you, giving away for free. In the meantime, you can also find it on YouTube. But we got to bring the kids back into this kind of fold. They are being just deluged at every turn, as are we, the adults. But remember, we're the adults, so we have to give them guidance. I was out and about today with my saint of a husband, and I noticed, and I was in 2 large malls, very little Christmas decorations, holiday decorations, not much going on there. Then I visited, one of my favorite places, the dollar store, greatest place for bows and ribbons and wraps and holiday shopping bags and bells and all that kind of stuff. And it was out the door, the line. Everybody buying things similar to what I was buying. But you know what was nice? There was a spirit of, I saw grandmas and grandpas, a little girl waiting in the line behind us was singing a Christmas song. Maybe she was about 6. I thought, oh, that's so nice. I saw families picking out decorations to hang on their tree and talking. It gave me renewed spirit. So I don't care if you take a trip to the dollar store with your child or your teen. Go do it. There's always something to buy in the dollar store. And just, again, make this commitment during the holiday season. Let's bring it back in. I am tired, as are you, of all the distraction and the noise, Elon Musk, Twitter, and I won't even address Twitter until, all of the CSAM, child sexual abuse material, is recognized, is discussed, is talked about, is taken down. because we know from the people we work with, there is AI that is capable of going in and cleaning out a lot of this material, a lot of this criminal material abusing our children. And the other day, there was something everybody was applauding that Elon Musk, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, he immediately got rid of 3 hashtags. The biggest hashtags that predators use on Twitter. You know what, warriors? That doesn't mean anything. Distraction, because the predators are always one step ahead, always. And they create new hashtags, create new accounts. It is the memorialization of an actual crime, because now the criminals are doing things in real time and putting them online. So how do you do that in real time? We have a huge problem. And of course, then that's also, videoed and then shared around the world. So until Elon Musk and whoever's working with him start addressing and talking on a daily basis about actual, doing something, 3 hashtags don't mean anything. Talk doesn't mean anything. We want to see the work. In the meantime, you know what you have to do, warriors. You have to be the warrior in your own home. You have to take it upon yourself to really know what's going on as much as possible as you can. And I know it's not easy because the kids are not used to most parents or caregivers questioning them, asking, but you got to go about it gently. It's not us versus them. We're all together. We have a well-documented youth mental health crisis fueled by the internet. The internet is an addiction, and we have studies that prove all of this. We live in a quick-paced, fast swipe society. You don't like something, you're on to the next. There is no really critical thinking, critical analysis, discussion. It's just boom, 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 next. And we're seeing the repercussions, and they're not pretty. So my advice on this Sunday evening is just a little reinforcement that you use this holiday season and bring it back. Think to when you were a child. I don't care if it sounds corny. I really don't, because I know the horrors of what's going on in this country right now. And I'm trying to share safety and easy tips to not overwhelm you. But if I told you about the true horrors, you couldn't handle it because it is too much. But you know how we'll fight it? If you start right with yourself and your kids and your families, and then talk to your neighbors or friends or your complete family, circle about digital safety. And there are safety features and filters. Number 1, privacy settings on all devices. We can all do that. I know it's frustrating. Apple alone makes 31 steps, but may I suggest you can YouTube anything and get the directions, and you keep at it. And you talk to your kids, and you talk to your 11-year-old, and you explain we're having privacy settings, because after all, there are some bad people out there. And the kids by age 11, 10, 8 now, they're seeing it from their friends. You're not shielding them from anything. So get in there and talk to them and start, these take actions. Go to our website, lynswarriors.org. Go to news and events. Go to the take actions. Start looking at things. Go to the websites, our great partner, protectyoungeyes.com, Chris McKenna. Everything is digital. He will lay out. He has a blog posting with, I think it's 50 different apps, devices. It's so much more free information for you. How to set the privacy setting, how to put the safety features and filters on. Free. So why wouldn't you take advantage of that? A lot of noise, warriors. So we want to start the new week. We want to think about, we're in the holiday season, the true meaning of that. We don't want to stay alone and be isolated. We've done that for the last few years. Despite you love your family, you don't love them, you fight. Holiday times is a time you get together. We must all come together. We must start showing the kids what it's truly all about. We must swing it back and make it festive as best we can do. And it doesn't take a lot. After all, just go to the dollar store. It was festive there. We had a great time and talking to a couple of nice people. And a reminder, you've got to tune out the noise. You're not hearing the facts. I don't care what network you're watching. You've got to tune out a lot of things, because let me give you some realities. The things a lot of people should be talking about. I digress a little bit, but I work with a group, Global Hope 365, and we talk about child brides in the United States. Now, there's no other way to put it. It sounds ridiculous, child brides, right? But at least people sit up when we say, do you know 43 states allow minors, mostly girls, to marry adult men? Then we get their attention. There were currently no federal law for any of this. We have 9 states that have no floor, meaning technically a state such as California, a 1-month-old can marry a 50-year-old man. We have other states where if they have parental or caregiver or judicial consent, then they can marry. I would recommend, to really understand a little bit more about this, that you do go to globalhope365.org, and also my interview I did just last week on my TNT radio program with Dawn Tyree. And you can find that on my Twitter, my Facebook. Go to tntradio.live. You'll find it there. Again, everything's called Lynn's Warriors. You have no excuse. Listen to this now grown woman, leader survivor, who found herself married at 13 and pregnant because her mother married her off to her rapist. So there was no shame on the family. They dealt with it that way. And I was asking her, Dawn, so you're pregnant, didn't any doctors question? Because I saw her picture when she's 13 years old and she looks like she doesn't even look 13. Maybe she looks 11. And she said a doctor never questioned me. When her mother married her, I said, what about the judge? She said the judge never batted an eyelash. I said, what about when you went in a store to buy a loaf of bread? She said, with a baby, she said nobody ever questioned her, asked her anything. By the age of 15, she had 2 children. By the age of 16, she was trying to escape her abusive, much older husband. Shelters wouldn't take her in because she was not 18. They said, go home to your husband, go home to your family, which she just didn't want to do. She had no legal recourse. She's not an adult. She couldn't get a job. She had 2 kids. She was not in school. There was no hope. But today we do have hope, fast forward. And Dawn Tyree today is 51 years old, and she has a 15-year-old grandchild. And she is out there each and every day shedding light. What happened to her cannot happen to girls right now in almost 2023. So right now we have 7 states, and that's taken about 6 years. No child marriage, 18, no exceptions. And we want that straight across the country. And it reminds me that the Warriors, we work with part of our group, and she was relaying a story that, although it's not the United States, I want to share it with you because it's so desperate, that girls in Afghanistan right now, their mothers are marrying them to much older men. They can be 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, because once they're married to a man, they're much better off in Afghanistan because the Taliban is coming in and just stealing, kidnapping, and taking these girls. And they're brutal and they're horrific. So the mothers feel this is better. If they're married, they will not be bothered. The husband will take care of them, hide them. That's it. So shouldn't the women and all people in this country be talking about that kind of issue? I know, Warriors, I usually focus on the United States, but remember, it all feeds back to us, everything that's going on. We have to talk global a little bit. And how horrific is that? And I haven't heard anybody talking about that at all. So a lot of these women's groups and a lot of these loudmouths, this should be an issue. That was a war that was lost. Nobody's talking about it. The first thing I heard when that was unraveling from my sources, the girls they covered up immediately. They're in hiding. They burned their books. They burned their artwork. And that was just when all that chaos was going on. Mothers were trying to hide their girls. We should be talking about these human rights abuses. Fast forward, now we're here. Human trafficking, I have renamed human slavery because slavery is exactly what it is, whether you are married as a child to an adult man in the United States or in Afghanistan. This is slavery. It's a much more descriptive word. The child sexual exploitation is out of control. It is on every front. You've got to protect your children. You've got to talk to your children. You've got to talk to your family circle and make them understand some facts. And the facts are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, enslaved. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, enslaved. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, enslaved. Every time I hit 5, that was another child. Think about it. Disturbing? Because it's all true. So think about everything. Thank you for all of your support and following me, alwayslynswarriors.org. Take care of yourselves. Hug and kiss your kids and each other. Don't isolate. Be together in this holiday season. And I'll speak to you again soon. Have a good day, good evening, wherever you are. And remember, each and every day, be a warrior.